Hello folks, and welcome to another unboxing. Well, I've never seen a vacuum cleaner packed in this way before. I've had a few odd packages delivered to my door in my time, but this one takes the biscuit, and it's going to take all my unpacking skills to get these boxes off this Dyson DC15. Apparently unused, but we'll see if the seller is telling porcupines over that one. I have a feeling they are. Anyway, without any further ado, I've got my box opener. Let's see what's inside this box. Well, we know what it is, but let's hope there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, let's start at the top by removing this top box. It reminds me of something on Bake Off, doesn't it? It's like a centerpiece, the showstopper, that's it. It's a showstopper 3-tiered cake. But you can't eat what's in here. I don't think you can anyway. Now, I just thought I didn't really want to unbox this today. I've got other things on my mind, but because this is not in the original box, I don't know why, because it's supposed to be new, but anyway, I don't know why I haven't kept the original box. But because this isn't in the original box, it will take up a lot less space in my house out of all this packaging. Yeah, the UPS man that delivered this even made a comment. He's not seen anything like this in his time. It doesn't look very well protected at the base. So, well, if it's damaged, it's damaged, and I'll be seeking recompense. One good thing about having a channel unboxing and demonstrating vacuums, because I film mostly everything I buy vacuum related. So if there's anything wrong with it, well, I've got proof. This is how it was when I opened it. Okay, that's that off. There's the handle. I knew that would be there. Right. Cut down the spine of the box along the top. Well, it's certainly packed well inside, but I think the weak point in the packaging has to be at the base. Well, that's right. We've got all the instructions with a clean up with this clean up with this great offer from Pet Plan, pet insurance, because this is a DC15 animal. Now I'm pulling out all the innards. Well, I'm not going to be short for bubble wrap, am I? Ever. Right. This is the absolutely humongous turbo nozzle that Dyson used to supply. I'll have to find wherever it is. One of my oh no, I think it's packed away, so I can't. I just wanted to do a size comparison against this compared to the tangle-free turbine that Dyson now supply. And this is probably about 4 times the size. This seems completely new. It is a shame I haven't got the original box. Some of my viewers who've checked back on all my videos or who've been with me a long time will have seen me unbox this model in this very spot, actually, when I first moved here. And it was one of my early videos recorded on a videotape, I think. But I got rid of it. I needed the money, so I sold it. A little bit of packaging dust on that, but that does seem new. Look at it, it's absolutely humongous. I think it's got an adapter there. There's an adapter on there. I'm not sure if I'll need it for this. And this one, you can turn the brush roll off by pulling that out. So it's off, I think. Off. Is it off? Oh, off, in. No. In is off. Out is on, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, there it is. It's a very hefty, substantial turbo nozzle. Right, that's that. Let's just pop that to one side. Well, it's just the cleaner itself. I think I'll just cut along the top of this box. Do you know what, folks? I think you've seen me struggle enough, haven't you, with this? Let's get it open. I'll show you it out of the packaging. Okay, half an hour later, I finally got it out of the box, and my initial reaction, I'm pretty pleased. Although there is dirt in the bin, a very tiny amount of dirt, but hardly brand new and unused. I don't know how dirt finds itself into a bin. I mean, I did notice this actually on the listing. I didn't say anything. I did offer them a bit less than they asked. It wasn't exactly cheap, certainly cheaper than buying the cheapest upright Dyson at the moment. I didn't pay as much as that, but so obviously if it had much more use, that clear, lovely clear bin would not be clear anymore. Now, the one I unboxed, I think was probably slightly later than this one, because I'd have to check back on the video, but I'm sure, fairly sure, not 100%, but I'm fairly sure that the one I had a clear head here. I think the later versions were clear so you could see the brush rotating. Could be wrong, but I seem to think mine did. In a way, I prefer not to have the clear head, because that's just another thing that can get cloudy. It will scratch up everything, every upright vacuum or turbo head that's got a clear part where the brush is, they soon go cloudy. But not having that means that's not going to ever look anything worse than it does now. The only thing that will ruin on this is the bin, but you can still buy the bin just on its own, this part. And that's what I'm going to do, whether it's a second hand or a new one. They're not that expensive, they're still available. I do want to do some demos of this, but before I do, I will be getting a new bin. So I will be turning this on briefly and just very briefly going over a small area of carpet, but no more than that. I'm not going to do any big mess tests or anything until a new bin has been purchased. Right, let's look a bit more in detail at this Dyson. We've already seen the turbo nozzle. I'll show you that spinning. We'll start at the beginning. For me is the underside of the cleaner head. Now, what I loved about the two DC15s I owned, I had this model, the Animal. I also had the All Floors one, which had the yellow ball. There was also, I think it was an allergy version that had a white ball. But they all had this lovely polished chrome or steel base plate, which really added to the sort of quality feel of this vacuum. It's very over-engineered, and there's a lot of complicated bits on this vacuum. And when you compare this to Dyson's latest upright, the light ball, they've obviously taken away an awful lot of components, but made the machine a better performer. But this brush roll, I do like this brush roll. Look at the brushes on this. This, I think, was a great improvement on the brush roll on previous Dyson vacuum cleaners. It really, from what I remember, did a very good job. Look at all those spiral brushes. But on this one, the suction is offset to one side. You get maximum suction at this side. This is where you can see this pipe here, where the suction comes from. The better cleaners, and I think the light ball, and certainly the DC40, I think they have a central suction channel, which in my experience does a better job of, especially when the brushes are angled to direct the debris into the center, into the maximum airstream. This has also got a large debris channel. Can you see that little hole just there? Well, I remember covering that up. Now, it does work with that open, and that's suitable for when you're picking up on hard floors and larger bits. That will go through that hole there, but it can affect slightly the performance on carpets. So I blocked that up with a bit of folded cardboard on the one I had, and I found it gave a better finish. It groomed the carpet better. It seemed to pick up better on carpeting, but I might just leave that open on this one. I'm glad to get another one of these. But at the time I needed the money, as I said, and the vacuums that went first when I needed money were vacuums I knew I could get a decent price for second hand, so that meant Dysons and Miele's of my collection went, but now I'm trying to get them back again. Okay, let's have a look a bit further up. There's a little story of Dyson booklet here. Yes, it's probably the same one that was on my Zorbster. Oh, it'll go, actually it'll match the Zorbster, doesn't it? It's the same colour as the Zorbster. Yeah, it's just exactly the same one. There's another translucent ticket that says it's won the Industrial Design Prize of America, and it's got the Design Museum London, Science Museum London, and the Pompidou Centre in Paris, Science Works Museum Melbourne. There's other museums. So it's in a lot of museums, including Rotterdam, Copenhagen, Vienna, Barcelona, New York, San Francisco, and is that Cologne? So yeah, it's won quite a few design awards. So this is the top of the cyclone, where we have two of the small tools, the articulated, lovely and soft actually, dusting tool, and the sort of stair slash upholstery tool on there. And at the side, let's just clip that back into place, we have the Crevice Tool. That's got a slight bend in it. I don't know whether that's just so it fits neater onto the machine, or maybe it helps you to get down the sides of things better. Quite a big hole there at the end, which acts as a bit of a suction relief and also can help bring debris in from the side, I would have thought. And that clips back onto there. So we have the bin release catch at the top of the handle. Let's remove the bin and look at the filter. So the filter is just located under this latch here. I was hoping I could take that off, but no, that's obviously, if I want to remove that, I'm going to have to cut it off, aren't I? Let's try and leave it on. So here's the washable filter. Pretty standard thing. You've got the sponge. It says on here, wash every 6 months. I assume the same will apply to that part of the filter there. Of course, this is what I think Dyson called them, root cyclone. I think they were using that term at the time. Anyway, it's certainly multi-cyclonic, isn't it? And this sort of multi-cyclonic design is now used by many other manufacturers. So that fits on there. You've got your little bleed relief spring there. So if the suction gets blocked for any reason, if you've blocked the filters or the cleaner, that will cut in and still allow airflow through to stop the motor overheating. There we go. And of course, as with other Dyson cleaners, you can remove the bin. So to empty it, let me see. Oh yes, you've still got the top button for emptying. Is it going to open first time? Yes. So push the red lever to open the flap, and then we can have access to the bin. There's another little purple lever here, look. Press that, and out comes that whole bin. So this is the familiar shroud that often gets wrapped around with pet hair, etc. And if I hold it correctly, you can just about see the cyclones there. But obviously after time these do get clogged up with dust all inside here. Dyson still haven't provided a way for the user to dismantle the cyclone to clean them. I don't know why they don't do that, because despite what they say they don't lose suction, they do get all caked up with muck inside here, even I expect the new ones do. So for Dyson, just to make them, just so you can just twist them apart, easily wash them, leave them to dry, and then put them back together, I think that would be something that they should look at, possibly. But then again, a lot of people don't even clean the filters on their bagless vacuums, so they might not even bother to do the cyclone. But anyway, it's just a little thing I'd like to see happen, but who knows what the future holds for vacuum technology. What am I doing? I'm doing it wrong. Putting it round the wrong way. There we go, that's the way it goes. That's it. That's all in place, and that's okie dokie. Let's pop that back on the cleaner. Before I do though, there is a final Hepa filter in here. I don't think that's user serviceable. It's not washable. It will be replaceable at some point, but I think that's designed for someone else to replace rather than the user. But there is obviously a way of getting in there. I don't think I'll ever need to bother about the final filter on this, considering the amount of use this machine's going to get. There we go. So at the top of the cleaner we've got your main on-off button, and of course you've got your brush bar on-off as well. I think by default when you switch the machine on, the brush bar will rotate, and you need to press that button in order to stop it rotating when you're cleaning hard floors. So to use the cleaning tools, we first need to take the cable off. It's got a top hook here that you turn down and remove the whole cable in one go. And then Dyson have also supplied that little clip that secures the cable, and just a regular square Dyson plug on this model. It doesn't seem that long a flex. Might be 7 or 8 meters on this. So to access the tools, you've first got to flip up the cap at the top and then just pull out the metal extension wand, the aluminium extension wand. I think. Is it going to work? Everything's fine so far, folks. And then you have to press the little button, the little purple button. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. Right, anyway. So there we go. That's this part. And the hose has come away. I'm not sure if it was supposed to, but anyway. This is supposed to. Is that a bit dusty in there? I don't know. As I say, it is showing very, very slight signs of it being turned on for a little while. Maybe just to check it. I think that's okay. I'll have to check in the full demo if this does actually reach up my stairs. It's got a nice sort of joint at the bottom that locks down, and it's very reminiscent of the Miele S7 or U1 as it's now called. It does still move up, it doesn't really lock. The Miele one really does stay locked in position, but this one, it does move up quite easily. So when you're cleaning stairs, obviously it's okay that it moves upwards because the machine is secure at the bottom of the stairs if you put it up against the bottom step. But when you're cleaning your upholstery and pulling the machine along, you don't really want it moving up. I think it's quite stable though. Right, so here's the hose end, which I believe you can put the nozzles directly into. You can certainly put that in. Let me just check the smaller nozzles. Yeah, so that's handy. You can fit them direct to the hose for confined spaces. Clip that back on. There we are. Oh, I didn't like that sound. No. I'm always fearful of snapping something. This will plug into here like that. I've always loved the click, the Dyson click. Always loved that. I'm sure there's the Miele click and the Sebo click. Now you can of course put that on the end if I want to, and any of the optional tools that fit this model if I wanted a dedicated hard floor tool. In fact, possibly, looks very narrow that. It's that's not 32. I don't think that's 32 at all. But I might be able to fit my carpet and hard floor nozzle that came with my Zorbster onto the end there. Well, that's about all I can show you at the moment. We'll just see the turbo head spinning. We'll obviously need to turn it on. Everything's fine so far. So as long as this vacuum actually switches on, I'll be quite happy with my purchase. Okie dokie, here's the moment of truth. Let's turn the cleaner on. Had a funny noise towards the end. Hope that's not going to prove to be a problem. Let's try out the turbo head. say, that doesn't seem to run very fast at all. Now there's a little switch on the back I didn't notice. What's that for? I think that's to... Is that to take it apart? I don't know. No, it doesn't. I wonder if that increases the speed of it. Doesn't seem to have any effect. I'll just check the instruction just to see what that's for. Well, according to the little instruction pamphlet that came with this turbo tool, it says correct tool setting. So the 1 dot is for use with Dyson DC07, 8 and 11. And for some reason it doesn't say what the other dot's for, but for 2 dots it must be for everything else. Never noticed that before. Oh well. You learn something every day, don't you? Just here we have a removable port to check for any blockages. That just comes out, so you can see if you've got any blockage there, or here, or up here. You've also, below that, you've got the changeover valve, which is something I like to see. Now in upright mode, the suction is diverted through the hose, and as soon as you recline the machine, and on this one you do actually have a dedicated pedal at the back. They did away with that, didn't they, with later models, to simplify all this gubbins. But with the first ball machine, you had to press that to release this part and then lower the handle to the operating position. But also when you lower the handle, if you watch the changeover valve, it directs the suction that previously is going through to the hose in upright mode. It'll direct the suction down through this hose here into the cleaner head. And as you can see, just that very small movement has now diverted the suction. When you put it back upright, it diverts it back through the hose. Okay, that's about the end of this video for now for the Dyson DC15. Pretty pleased with it overall. Just going to run it over the carpet for a few seconds. As I said earlier, I don't want to use it too much until I've got a replacement bin, but when I have, I do intend to do some more thorough testing with it. If you want one of these, they're hard to come by brand new. Obviously I found one, but there's quite a few on eBay, reconditioned or second hand. So I think they're worth picking up if you're a collector or you like Dysons. It's Dyson's first ball cleaner. It's obviously very over-engineered compared to their later machines. They've done a lot of work on simplifying and streamlining, and above all making the machines lighter and quieter. But I like it as a piece of design. It's quite industrial looking. Right, let's have a quick go and then I'll say my goodbyes. So there you go folks, that's the Dyson DC15 Animal Ball Vacuum Cleaner. It's surprisingly easy to push actually for such a bulky machine. I'm really pleased to have this Dyson back in the collection. If you've any comments or questions, please ask and comment below. Until the next time, I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.